Human life is a marvelous expression of the universal life. Every part of its expression carries in it a perfect order and an unimaginable beauty. But most people only see misery, pain, evil, and injustice in it. It's true. I know that because I used to be one of those people. Did you ever try to think, why don't we often see the beauty in life? Well, this question is kinda tricky, isn't it? Like, if there is pain, then by definition, the pain is the absence of happiness. So, how are we supposed to see happiness when it's not present? It's like sending someone in a completely dark room to look for the light, or asking someone to drink from an empty glass. So, the question then is, how do we see the beauty in our life when we feel like it's not there? Let's try to answer that in this video. Let me tell you a story. Since I began to learn about the universal power that designed the universe and to think about the essence of life and who I am, I have spent a lot of time in nature, around trees, animals, birds, the sunset, etc. Because I believe that the answer we are looking for lies somewhere in the understanding of how nature is designed to work. So one time, I was sitting in a forest watching the sunset. There were some thorny bushes on my right hand side, only a few inches high above the ground to get under it. I was sitting there, and a little bird came of an exact same size that could get inside. This little guy gets in and started eating something there. He ate whatever he had to eat and then gets out and fly away. I saw it and asked myself, how did this little guy know that there was food in there? And one day there was a buffalo. It was sitting under a tree, and a bird came. It gets closer to the buffalo and started eating some bugs that were sitting on its body. I was looking at this and I thought, wow, a life form that needed to eat somehow gets the signal that your food is on a buffalo's body, and it somehow found its way there. Then it ate the other life form that was on the body of a larger life form and fulfilled its need. Now, think about this. Is it really just happening coincidentally? Or there is an intelligence that has organized it? While I was sitting there looking at this, there were other guys who were playing around, and they never knew that it was happening. It's all lies in the perception. Our perception defines what we are going to be and see in our life. I was observing this event that was taking place between the birds and the nature providing them their needs. I saw in this event the beauty of life because I was searching for something like that. The other guys were searching for something else, and I'm sure they would have found what they were looking for. Yet, we were at the same place and at the same time. So, if there is an intelligence behind everything, then wouldn't it be foolish to think that the intelligence which took care of every need of a little bird whose weight is less than a pound before sending it to experience its life would send you and me here to experience its most marvelous expression of life without making sure that we get everything we need to experience it? Well, the sad truth is that the majority of us lives our life following this mental attitude without ever knowing that we are doing it. But the question is, if all of our needs have been taken care of before coming here, then why is there so much pain, so much trouble, and why the majority of people are dissatisfied with their lives? The answer is simple. They don't know that it's been taken care of. So they try to force themselves to do the things that they don't like, to spend their time in places where they don't enjoy it, to be someone they don't really wanna be, only to make sure that they can survive. And in the end, when they go to their deathbeds, they realize that they have never really lived. So, when they start forcing things to happen, they disturb the mechanism that was originally set in for things to happen in a perfect order. And they don't even realize that they did it. And it brings poor expression, lower vibrations, and a lack of everything, a void that they feel like they can't fill. So they spend their whole life trying to fill it outside of themselves, never really care to look inside and see that the thing that can fill this void is already here. They don't have to get it, it's already theirs. Let's dive a little deeper into it. As I said earlier, everything we need to experience this life has already been taken care of. It's already ours. But what does that mean? To understand it, first, you have to understand the true nature of reality. And then, you have to understand your role in it. Reality is always based upon the observer. As in my story, I was the observer of one reality, and the other guys were the observer of another reality. We were at the same place and at the same time, but my reality didn't exist for them, and whatever they were observing at that time didn't exist for me. So, if we look on a micro level, everything we see, hear, taste, smell, and touch are made up of atoms. Those atoms are made up of subatomic particles, and those subatomic particles are primarily composed of energy. Everything around you, including your body, is made up of the same energy. Energy has patterns of different frequencies or rates of vibration, which makes things appear to be different and separate from one another. But in truth, everything is made up of the same thing. Everything is part of the same thing, and everything is connected to everything else through the same thing, even though they appear to be separate. These frequencies are packets of information, and the information something carries in it gives it its individual identity. For example, if we see the sun, it is made up of the same energy, but the frequency or information it carries gives it the identity of the sun. We, as humans, have the ability to read information, so we read it and then translate it in words that we can understand. So, if we search the sun, we would find the sun is the star at the center of the solar system. It is a nearly perfect sphere of hot plasma with the internal convective motion that generates a magnetic field via a dynamo process. It is by far the most important source of energy for life on Earth. That is the information on the material form of energy pattern called the sun. Now, come to you and me. We are also made up of the same energy, and we also carry an information package within us. For example, your face has unique features that gives it the definition of being your face. You have a unique pair of eyes that no one else has. Your fingerprints are unique. All of this information about your body gives it the individual identity of being you. But if that's the information about your body, and body is just a part of you, then who and where is the real you? As I said in my previous videos, there is a field of energy and information that exists within and all around us, which carries infinite number of potential expression of you. Your physical life is just one expression of those infinite possibilities that exist as you in the field. All the things that you want to experience, all the desires that you have are possibilities and potential that already exist in the field. To better understand this, think about the house that you want to live in and the person you want to live with. And then see in your mind living in that house with that person. See yourself truly happy with this person and having all the experiences you wanted to have. You see, you can do this only because this life of yours is already a potential in the field of thought or the quantum field. You just went into this field and became one in thoughts with this potential in the field, and you experienced it in your mind. When you start learning and reading about the human potential, you start adding new information in your brain, which allows your physical self to connect with your higher self and allows you to tap into the higher expression of your life that already exists in the field. You would start to see things that were already there, but you never noticed their existence before because you didn't have the information in your brain to perceive that reality. Come back to the question, how did our needs have been taken care of? The answer is that everything we ever going to need, everything we can imagine as ours, everything we want to experience is already ours in the field. And we have the ability to manifest anything from the field into the physical experience by exercising the mental tools that we have been given. Perception, imagination, will, intuition, memory, reason, all are higher mental faculties which, if we use the way they were meant to be used, then there is nothing that we truly desire and cannot be experienced. These higher mental faculties have been given to us to connect with the field, to build a relationship with it, and to manifest all our dreams into our life experiences. Let's come to the familiar side of you, your physical world. You live your everyday life there. Every day, you see things that are yours. And you see your physical body every day. You meet the same people every day. When something bad happens to you, you feel sad or angry. When something good happens to you, you feel happy. You feel a responsibility, you do your work, etc. are all part of your physical or visible reality. Your body is your vehicle through which you are going to experience this life as an individual being, which is always connected to the real you in the field. If you consider the real you like an ocean and the physical you like a wave of that ocean, then it follows that the waves carries in it the essence of the ocean. In the same manner, your physical self carries in it the essence of the real you. Let's focus on the body for now. Our body is a mass of energy, moving or vibrating at certain rates of vibration. Inside the body, certain mechanisms are placed in order to ensure health and survival. For example, the digestive system, respiratory system, bone structure, etc. Then, there are two most important parts of the body, the brain and the heart. The brain is the part through which the thoughts we think begin to influence our physical world, and the heart is the part through which the emotions we feel begin to influence our physical world. So, let's talk about the brain first. Our brain is the central organ of the nervous system. It controls most of the activities of our body. It processes, integrates, coordinates the information it receives from the environment through our physical senses and makes decisions and then sends the instruction to the other part of the body. Our brain likes to collect information. There are billions of neurons in our brain which connect with each other in certain patterns to remember the information that we have learned and to remember the experiences we have. When we pay all our attention to something or someone, our brain takes a snapshot of that event and store it as a memory, so we can remember it later. When some moments or experience of unfortunate events happen in our life, and it causes us to feel pain our brain put its focus to whoever or whatever caused it. And then the emotional part of the brain releases a chemical that flows through the cells of our body, which then remembers it through those chemicals, how this experience felt. And the imagery of this experience is stored as a memory in the brain. Now, we as humans have the ability to recall the memories of any past event by activating certain patterns of neurons that carry those memories. When we recall that event any time, the brain releases the same emotional chemical which was produced when the event actually took place. This chemical flows through the cells of the body, and the body, as an instrument of the subconscious mind, does not know the difference between a real experience and an experience that we are creating by thoughts alone. To the body, it's same as the event is happening all over again. Now, this emotion inspires more thoughts of the same kind, which produce more emotions of the same kind, and then a process of thinking about the past, feeling the emotions of the past, having the same experiences as of the past, and being miserable all the time begins. Our brain, like the rest of the body, is primarily an instrument of the subconscious mind, and it doesn't know the difference between an event that is taking place in the field of physical experiences and an event that we are creating in our mind by thoughts alone. To the brain, both events are as real, and that's where our true power lies. Now, use your imagination here and come with me in the field of thoughts. Imagine one day you wake up in a place surrounded by a light and beauty and peace. You asked yourself, "Where am I?" You heard a voice that said, "You are in the divine presence, and the divine has brought you here to tell you that you have 1 month to make the list of all the things that you would like to have, all the experiences you would like to have. You would be given all of it, and you will be given all the abundance and prosperity you desire. But your desire must be based on the good values you would be providing to humanity for receiving everything you have asked for." And then, all of a sudden, you are back in your body where you are right now, watching this video. Now, think of it as it was actually happening. Because to the subconscious mind and the brain, when you started imagining this event, it was actually taking place. So, now in your brain, there is a connection between few neurons which holds the essence of the event where you are in the divine presence, and the divine has given you a chance to make a list of things you would like to have, so he can give it to you. What you would do with it, it's completely up to you. Now, if you choose to use the mystery of being human and accept it as it was true and act upon it and start making the list of everything you truly desire, and most importantly, what values you are going to provide to the humanity for having it all. Think about it on a deeper level as being the essence of life. What is out there that you are good at, which would provide some greater values to humanity? Remember, you have to think it in terms of being the one who has already received everything he wanted, and now he wants to provide some valuable service to humanity. Think about how you would be spending your time. What kind of friends you would like to spend your time with? What kind of relationships you would like to be in? What type of house and environment you would be living in? Where would you like to spend your days? Build a new model of your new life, and when you finish building it, visit back in your mind in the divine presence, and then give this new model and your plan to serve humanity to the divine and say, "Now I submit this design of my new life to you for its manifestation in a perfect order. Thank you so much. From now on, I would begin to prepare my brain and body to embrace my new reality. I'm grateful for everything. When you submit this new model, then you know the next thing you have to do is to be ready to pay the price and receive it. And remember, you are not ready to receive until you truly believe that you are going to receive it. The state of mind must be belief, not just hope or wish, as Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich. When you have submitted a new model of your life and believe that it will happen, then in order to prepare your brain and body to embrace this new life, you have to give thought images of that life to your brain and the emotion of that life to the body over and over again. In order to do it, you have to use your imagination and start building images of yourself living the life where your prayers are answered. You are with the person you truly love. You are living in your dream house. You are driving your dream cars. You are doing the work you love to do. You are happy, healthy, and completely in love with your life. Sit alone every day for as long as you can. Disconnect from everything. Put some meditation music on and imagine in your mind living this beautiful life of yours. Live it in your mind as it is actually happening. Put your focus on how you are feeling when you are living this life. Live it as this inner world is more real than the outer world. Now, you have to pay attention to something before going any further. You have to realize that you can imagine this life only because this life of yours is already a potential existence of you in the quantum field of energy. And you have already been given powers and tools to make this dream life of yours as the life you are going to experience in the field of physical experiences. It means your prayers have already been answered because what you want has already been given to you in spirit or energy. All you have to do is to figure out a way to transform that energy into your material reality. And that's where the law of attraction comes in. The mechanism has already been in place to work in a perfect order to make it yours. All you have to do is to walk on the path of its achievement until it becomes yours. When you would start visualizing your new life in your mind and you would pay attention to the inner event, your brain would make new connection between neurons in order to remember this inner image. When you would begin to do it every day, those connections will start to become stronger. Then you would start to move into a new vibration. And you would start hearing voices in your head like, it doesn't feel right. It's not gonna happen. You would never change. It's okay to be a little messed up. You are fine where you are, etc., etc. And if you react to these as if it's true, you would say, man, I gotta stop this and go back to live my normal life. Then you would go back to being the same old version of you, thinking the same old thoughts, feeling the same old emotion, having the same experiences, and receiving the same results. But if you stay committed to your meditation and visualization, after some time, the volume of those voices will start to lowering down, and your brain would start making more permanent connection between those neurons. Then the emotional part of the brain will be activated, which would produce a chemical, emotion, that will send a message to your body to feel this emotion. And as you would keep doing it over and over again, your body would start memorizing this emotion. It means the vibrational frequency of your body would change into a new vibration. And a new vibration of the brain and body would attract a new experience in your life. Our heart is a complex part of our body. It's not there to just pump the blood, but it is the center of our emotional intelligence. When we are troubled, our heart starts beating out of rhythm and it makes us feel insecure. It's a part of our body that I don't really understand in any depth, but as far as I know,
It seems like it has its own consciousness or set of rules, but it for sure understands one language, which is love. When we have our dream life in our mind as real as anything, and we have an intention to spread love when we would be living that, and we express this love in our inner experience of this dream life, our heart will eventually give in to this emotion of our future. Now, the scientific research has shown that once the heart and the brain are working together in harmony or coherence, our heart creates a magnetic field of energy around our body, which can be measured by scientific instruments now. When this field is created, then you would feel like you already have experienced that future life. You will be living like you are experiencing that life, and before you would even realize you would be living that life. You will become like a super magnet for the law of attraction to bring that experience into your life. Then, some crazy but amazing things would start happening. Synchronicity and coincidences would become common part of your life. And when you would finally be living your dream life, you would look back and say, now I understand why everything had to happen the way it did. You would be glad that you went through all the troubles and pain you had to go through in order to become you. Because after that, you would never want to lose that feeling of being you. You would be truly, completely, and madly in love with yourself. If you stick with your goal and give your best every day and do all that you can do every day in the direction of your goal, when you will finally achieve it, you would realize that it was never about the goal, it was about who you would become in the process, and that is something which will be truly yours forever. All of this that I talked about in this video is the beauty of being human. But most people will never realize that they are the marvel of spiritual beauty. In the same manner, every creation has its beautiful mechanism that's always in play. But we are so focused on the flaws of our life that we never notice its beauty. Thank you very much for your time. If you like the information that I shared with you through this video, subscribe this channel, like this video, and share this video. Thank you very much.